We will also follow the CDC and state and venue guidelines regarding masking and any other requirements that come up. Today we're going to have a board meeting, and the agenda will be the major items will be the question of how and what we will do to conduct live meetings come October. And there's some issues that we will look at, the technical capabilities and whatnot. So board will listen to the recommendations from the subcommittee and then vote on their recommendations or come up with an alternative that we will then present to the full membership as the ongoing policy. The songsters, the other item of import that we want to discuss is what we're going to do moving forward for the balance of this year. And that'll depend upon how many songsters we got, how many, as well, and more importantly is the venues. Are they going to allow us? Are there too stringent restrictions that we couldn't abide by, whatever? So that's something that will have to be decided on by the board. And Jerry, I know Jerry said that he had to be, what's he on with us now? But we'll bring that up first, because Jerry is going to have to leave. Okay, next slide.
Joe?
Yeah.
Board meeting starts immediately after the meeting, right?
What?
The board meeting begins right after this meeting.
Yes, yes. We'll go right into the board meeting and hopefully conclude it in early enough time. Today's speaker is Amos Giora.
Giora.
What?
Giora.
Giora?
Yeah, that's how he likes to do it.
Uses the whatever pronunciation, Giora. Okay, good. On complicity and the bystander, and Stu will give a little more information on that as we move along. Please stay on, and hopefully 10:45 he'll start, and done by 11:45, then we can go right into our board meeting after that. Stu.
Good morning, everyone. Glad I showed up. As you obviously, the picnic is next week. Talk about that in a couple of minutes. So obviously there's no meeting. The 30th, Lester Villers will talk to us about one of his interesting and fascinating safaris that he did in Africa. So that should be pretty unusual topic for us to hear about. Should be pretty interesting. October 7th, Dr. Susan Herbst, who's the president emeritus at UConn. She'll talk to us about whatever's going on currently at the school. And on October 14th, Mark McGrath, who's the director of operations for Stamford, he'll just update us on what's going on in the city. By the way, those of you who did not see the newspaper this morning, Carolyn Simmons beat David Martin yesterday in the Democratic primary. So hopefully the mayor will show up at the picnic.
He will.
That's it for me.
Ira.
Good morning, everyone. I presume everybody received the minutes of last week's meeting. If there are no corrections or additions, I don't hear any. I'm going to request President Joe to cast one vote of acceptance for all of us.
So voted.
Thank you.
Consider the minutes accepted. Thank you. Ira.
Okay.
Howie,
Good morning. On the 30th, we have Joe D on current events. October 7th, we have Bob Lutke on technology. The rest is maybe going to be changed, but at the moment, we have Joe D on October 14th. I'm not sure on the 21st. And on the 28th, we have Art Feldman. The difference that I cannot decide is if we're going back live, I don't know who's coming. So I know that this Emily, will she be showing up for live meetings? We don't know. So I have no idea yet. So right now we've got Joe D on the 30th and Bob Butke on the 7th. That's guaranteed. Thank you.
thank you, Howie. Carl,
Good morning, everybody. We have our Tai Chi continues along in September. We have about 10 participants. Anybody else interested is welcome to join and try. And we'll see how October goes when we get to October. But we continue to have, a steady, consistent participation. So it's going well. Thanks.
thank you, Carl.
Okay, I can talk about the walk, although Dave Kaplan was there and took this picture. Attendance was up, another bright, sunny, warm day. Hopefully this participation will continue when as the weather gets cooler, but I think it's been a great activity, and the level of participation shows it's a very, very popular activity. Next week, we'll go back to the Wednesday, and we'll go back north again to Irwin Park in New Canaan. I hope to see you all.
Carl, I have a question. Where in Irwin Park everybody meets? Where is meeting meets?
I'm sorry, I heard you ask a question about Irwin Park, but I didn't get you the rest of it.
Where do people meet?
Well, we meet in a parking lot at Irwin Park.
Mhm.
There's only one parking lot. It's a parking lot in the front, not the remote by the back buildings. It's
By the
right.
main building, by the building that's parking lot?
You take as soon as you can make the turn into the park and take an immediate right. You'll see
Oh,
the
okay.
cars parked on the right there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, again, I would ask if anybody has a question during the normal meeting, please raise your hand to ask the question.
Okay.
Stuart,
All right. Guess it'll be the last time we talk about the picnic on the meeting. So if I say time's up, that means don't send me any money in the mail because I may not get it before the picnic. You can see the prices are there. I just want to emphasize this is a rain or shine event. I don't think I mentioned it last week. So unless we have a hurricane, it's on. Looking at the weather forecast, I know last night it looked like it's going to be a sunny day actually. So that's going to be great. We're going to have a raffle and we're going to have the silent auction again. We have a number of really good $100 raffle items. So, but you need to be there to win. And hang on a second. My computer's acting up. Okay. So you have to be there to win. Obviously with the silent auction, you fill out, and if you're the top bidder, you win, no matter whether you're there or not. So if you haven't paid yet or signed up yet, I'm having trouble with my computer. Hang on a second. You can still show up. Just bring a check made out to SMAS, and we'll be good to go. Couple of items again. The parking is free. There'll be an email coming out probably tomorrow to all the people attending. And attached to that email will be the permit. There it is. That's what the permit looks like. Print it and just put it on your dashboard, and we should not receive a ticket. Okay. Previous slide, please. Okay. Again, it starts at 11 o'clock. A bunch of guys are going to come at 8:30 to help set up. If you'd like to help us, please show up at 8:30 or so. And there will be bagels and cream cheese if you do, and coffee. I guess maybe Carolyn Simmons will actually show up at the picnic. It'd be great. Bobby Valentine will probably be there as well. Hopefully David Martin will be feeling okay to tell us about the state of Stamford, which I hope, well, we'll see what he says. The rules that Joe always talks about are in place. Got to be vaccinated or show proof of a vaccination, of a negative result. And again, I'll emphasize, there are only 33 of us now, but if you can ask your significant others, your wives, your girlfriends, to bring something for dessert, that would be terrific. And hope to see you all there. Have a great time. The weather will be wonderful. And that's it for the picnic. Thank you.
Brian?
Okay, on the golf, things are a little bit shaky now because of the late date and the cool weather. We can go to the next slide. It's very important for those who have not responded to let me know if you're going to play, so we can then plan accordingly. If we wind up going sequential rather than everyone going off at once in a shotgun, we'll contact those players that are going to play with us, and we will ask them if they then want to get together after golf, before golf, or anything like that. But everything is in flux right now, so you have to let me know what you intend to do, what you want to do, so then Howie and I can then make plans accordingly. That's it.
Thank you, Brian.
Okay, membership. Membership is unchanged from the previous meeting as far as the regular members are concerned. What's happening is Stu and his crew have been very thorough in contacting everyone, not relying solely upon email to notify them of the picnic and encouraging them to come. And during the course of those contacts, we've found a number of people for whom we no longer have phone numbers. And in most cases, the phones have been disconnected, indicating that people have probably left the area. I've followed up on information that Stu's crew provided to me, followed up with emails as a last attempt to try and contact them, but there's still, excuse me, 2 or 3 life members who may be deleted from this total if I haven't heard from them by email in a few days. The fact that their phones have been disconnected leads me to believe they've left the area one way or the other, not to be indelicate about it. So I think there will be discussion at the board meeting, but our membership numbers are at probably all-time lows, at least all-time last decade or so. So there'll be further discussion at the board meeting and discussions what steps we might take to improve our numbers as we resume live meetings. Thank you.
Thanks, Carl. David?
Thank you, Joe. Good morning, everybody. A couple things. First of all, I wanted to follow up. It was announced at last meeting that Bruce Smith had passed away. I want to thank Howie and Bill Johnson, who alerted me that the Bruce Smith who passed away was not our member. I did check the obituary, and we know the Bruce Smith who died very well. He's a friend, and you're never happy to see someone pass away, and our hearts go out to his family. But we are happy that our Bruce Smith is with us and doing well. So any news to share from our members? If not, we look forward to seeing.
Yes.
Oh,
Larry here. I am safely and happily ensconced in my new home in Florida. And although we still have boxes to unpack and furniture to buy for this house, pretty happy here. So I just want to say hello to everybody. And I will from time to time be on, especially when there's interesting speakers and interesting 9:20 presentations. So hello, everybody. Glad to see you all here.
And good to see you, Larry. And Larry, I understand your daughter is going to be in Stamford. Is that correct?
Yeah, she's moving back to Stamford since she's working in White Plains. She should be moving in sometime this week on Bridge Street, right across from between Scalzi and the golf course.
Well, that's excellent. So you still have a double connection to Stamford. We're glad to
Oh,
hear.
by all means.
That's wonderful. Anybody else? Let's move on to the next chart. Names the same as before, but I've added John Sedlak back in. I spoke to John last night, and he's doing very well. But on Monday, he had a heart valve replacement at Stamford Hospital. They didn't have to do it open heart. They went in through the leg. And amazingly, he was discharged in less than 24 hours. As John was telling me, and we were half joking about it, this is his 4th surgery in the last 6 months. But he is in wonderful spirits, but please give him a call. He's just a remarkable individual, and we want to keep him in good spirits. Everybody else on the list I have spoken to as well, and everybody's doing okay, but because of their condition, they can't get out too much. Would appreciate calls from everybody.
David, who was that you just mentioned?
John Sedlak.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any other points? Any other news to report? If not, that's it for me. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody.
Dick, you're up.
Okay. We're getting close now on discussing Cast by Isabel Wilkerson. And I think it may be a little bit controversial, which is okay. We haven't had too many controversial books for a while. And basically her theme is that the caste system still exists in the United States. And then on the 20th of October, The Code Breaker by Walter Isaacson, and this is about the code editing and the future of the human race in terms of dealing with the codes that make up our basic life constituencies. And it's a longer book, so I think we'll have a good time trying to get through it and discussing it. And if you have any other suggestions for future books, because we need to keep that fresh, please let me know. And the email is probably the easiest way to do it. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Dick.
Dick, I just wanted to ask, is the meeting on CAST going to be by Zoom?
Yes.
And will it be at 1:30?
1:30 Zoom, and I'll get you the number very soon.
Thank you.
Okay. I see Alan Krim is with us. Alan, just a question before we get into discussion items. Are you looking into any trips in the while the weather is still fairly nice?
I'm working on a outdoor activity. Hopefully for the month of October. I'm in discussion, trying to make arrangements. So, when I have something, I'll get it up on the calendar.
Okay, thank you. But you are looking into something that's good, because I think people, still want to get together, as seen by even our walks and some of our activities.
Yeah,
Thank
you know,
you.
it would involve a walk in an interesting area and lunch.
Oh, great. Thank you, Alan.
You're welcome.
All right, are there any items that anyone wants to bring up for discussion? Stu?
Yeah, I neglected to, when I was talking about the picnic, I just really wanted to thank the guys on the picnic committee. They worked really hard. I just want to recognize Dave Kaplan and Carl Shapiro, Carl Martino, Ed Roloff, Jack Austin, Dick Fisher, Larry Willinger, Gary Gepner, Joe, yourself, and John Cohen. You guys have done a terrific job, and it's really been a pleasure to work with these guys. And I think the results of that work will show up next week at the picnic. Thank you.
Just how many people do you have signed up now?
Oh, we have technically 98. If you count Bobby, that's 99. And you know, we're teetering on 100 since we will have the caterers there, so our total count will be over 100. Masks will be required. We'll see who anybody else shows up.
Okay.
100.
Thank you, Stu. Anybody else have anything to ask or talk about? Okay, any jokes? Come on, somebody's got to have something, a story or something. Wow.
I did ask our to show up early in case we were early. I don't think he's on yet. I don't know.
Yeah. If anybody wants to talk about yesterday's primary, it was what I gathered in the paper today and the announcement that came out. It was really an eye opener. Our mayor lost every district, and even more surprising, a couple of longtime members of the Board of Rep lost, and there were icons in the Board of Rep. So whatever the turning of was just very surprising.
No comments. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll make a comment for what is.
Howie, did you raise your hand?
Yes,
Yeah,
I did.
Howie?
Yes, I did. I just want to say that because of the lack of attendance here from the normal people, we're not getting a true feeling whether these guys want to play golf, or when I asked last week for the people that might want to go to luncheon, we got something like 18 responses, even if all spouses of others come, that's 36. We need somehow to be able to contact the whole group, but even more than that, the whole group to start to respond. Because we're a men's club where we're all supposed to do things. And unless they start responding to us, we can't do things. Alan can't plan trips. I can't plan a luncheon. Brian can't plan a golf outing. Somehow or another, we have to get the group to respond. Thank you.
You know, I just would be very hopeful that once we start up in-presence meetings, we'll turn the corner. You know, we have to look to that. Do we have any further update on when the church might accommodate us back in person?
It still stands as our first meeting in October.
Well, that would, if that were the case, if that becomes reality, that will be a tremendous help for us.
Okay.
We'll just have to see.
Carl, you were going to say something?
Yes, Joe, I have questions.
Katie, wait till you're called on, please.
I'm sorry.
Carl, you were going to say something?
Yes, I think to that subject, I have a list of people who we originally contacted who didn't pay the dues and cited as their reason that they're waiting for our meetings to come back live. So I'll be sending emails out to those people, probably be calling them because email is not very effective with some of our members, and alerting them to those meetings, as soon as we confirm it. I mean, maybe the week before, I'll give them a call when we know for sure that it's going to be happening. So I'll be picking up another 10 or 12 people there. That's kind of addresses Howie's and kind of addresses Alan's concerns.
Thank you, Carl. Bill Johnson, please.
Oh, I just have a joke if anybody's interested.
Go ahead.
Well, this is about the lawyer that bought a new Mercedes, brand new, driving the thing home, and he decided to stop at the liquor store, opened the door to get out, and a truck came along and took the door right off. He gets up and he looks at it and he says, my God, he says, the body shop will never be able to put it back to new. It's ruined. My car, my brand new car is ruined. And just then a cop comes along and says, I saw the whole thing. The guy says, yeah, look at that. Look at my car. And the cop says, look, you're being too materialistic. He says, do you realize that when he took the door off, that he took your left arm off too? And the lawyer looks at his arm and he says, oh my God, my Rolex.
That's a good one. Katie.
Joe, I have a question for you. Mayor Martin was doing very well, very well respected, and city was doing well. How to explain his loss on this election?
I'm not a political analyst. I can't explain it. I don't know. It came as a surprise. I mean, I guess he didn't have the support of the Democratic city committee for whatever reason. And, I can't explain it. If somebody else that's been more intimate in it can explain it, please try.
Yes, Ira has an answer.
Okay, Ira, you're next up. Unmute yourself, Ira.
Okay, totally unrelated topic. Since midterm exams and final exams are not going to be given anymore in Stamford schools, I'd like to know how people feel about that and thoughts on what will the alternatives be for performance assessment. Okay.
Good question. Why did they do it in the first place?
There's a guess, but I don't, it's,
yeah.
Supposedly to make an even playing field, which then goes to, are you lowering standards so that the kids come out less educated?
That seems to be the trend.
Yeah, I think the newspapers gave their rationale was that it took so much time to prepare the kids for their midterms, and it was taking away from real instruction time. I think they wanted to avoid saying we're dumbing down the system.
Yeah, and it didn't give an alternative for how things are going to be assessed.
I think in the paper it did. I mean, it talked about teachers would still be giving quizzes and tests during the course of the year as a way to monitor the kids, track the kids' progress in a more realistic way, in my opinion. I never was a big fan of finals and midterms, that kind of stuff. Some people are just lousy test takers. I know I am, and they can screw you up if you just blow that one test. So I think it's a good move.
Carl, you got your hand raised still?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Go
Well, I
ahead,
think there are
Jim.
a lot of reasons and there are a lot of ways to assess kids in your class through the course of a semester. And one of the things about exams is that you get to either ask a bunch of short answer questions which don't show much depth of understanding, or you give a few essay questions which focus on part of what's gone on during the semester. And I think the many ways that teachers can get a handle on how students are understanding what's going on from the everyday interaction and the hand raising and the short papers and the shorter quizzes adds up to quite a lot of feedback that helps give you a pretty good answer as to what the student understands.
Carl, Bunch?
Mute, Carl.
Okay. Lloyd, contract?
I-
Oh, Kaufman, come back.
I was commenting on the previous subject on the elections. Just it's anecdotal, obviously, but the reason my wife, the primary reason my wife voted for Caroline Simmons is because of the state of the road. She's just tired of driving over potholes and ruined streets and things. And we know that I kept explaining to the mayor who was addressing it, but she was just frustrated that things have been going on for so long and such disrepair, and she couldn't stand it anymore.
Yeah, good point. Lloyd, contract?
Yeah, right. I'd like to take a little issue with everybody, but a little different viewpoint on getting rid of the midterms and final exams. Midterms and final exams bring forth a chance for the student to review the subject matter that has previously been taught. And that really helps in formulating the ability to coalesce all this information. Now, what happens when you get rid of that, you study for the exam, if you want to, of course, you don't have to. And then, well, that's over with. I'll study for the next exam. And meanwhile, there's very little chance for really building up information because you know very well it's not going to be important. Why bother with it? Because you know the next element is what we're going to get tested on, and we're never going to be asked for the information. So in this way, we can basically diminish the mental development that review does. And I think that the history of using final exams and midterms is to improve that mental development. And that's what high school should be doing. But except, no, we're not going to do that, so that when you're sent to your $50,000 to $70,000 a year colleges, they can have then advanced high school. The work that high school should have done, but didn't. And this is a terrible travesty to the American education system.
Thank you. Dick Fisher.
I'd like to go to the election. My wife and I both worked on the election. My feeling about it is if you look at the numbers, the mayor did not get the voters out. The other thing is if you, I went past 2 polling sites. The women that were out there, and they were only women, they were in the range of 30 to 40-year-olds. And I think they got the vote out. and that did it. As far as their abilities, the one thing that I really think that David Martin did was from a financial standpoint, he knew finances. I think he did well in the city from that standpoint. For everything that Carolyn Simmons has said in her poop sheets, she really has not dealt with finances on the level of a city like Stamford. So I'm hoping that she gets in good people to do that, because I think there's a real lacking from that standpoint.
Thank you. Thank you, Dick. Steve Fisher.
I believe our guest speaker has joined us.
Yes, he has. Okay.
Yeah, the only thing I was going to say was back on the midterms and so forth. The kids that come out of the Stamford school system in a few years will and head into college will have a rude awakening the first time they run into midterms and finals on their college courses.
All right, with that, we'll close all